And 5, 4. Nope. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Bar Exam. I'm your host, Allie Rayner, and I'm here with the Bar Exam crew. We have Mr. Marcus TV in the building. What's up, Marcus?
Yo, what up with it?
What up with it? And we also have Mr. Eric G in the building as well. What's up, Eric? Hey, hello, Eric Gain. And then we also
Who
have Mr.
turns they
Shane.
intro with the light?
He's too smooth
Yo,
with it. Y'all don't know. Eric is too smooth with it, okay?
it was her. Look at the.
He had his like Lil Wayne moment. He was having his lighter moment.
Yo,
Was that what that was? Was that my Lil Wayne lighter moment?
Yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay, 25 lighters on my dresser. Yes, sir.
I got to get paid.
Almost couldn't find that lighter a second ago.
This
too,
nigga
so
came
comment on my point.
Hey man, we're gonna start calling him Jesus because I don't want to call him Jesus. But when it's the booming voice from the sky and shit.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I had to finish it up. Let me also introduce Mr. Shane G, our producer, to the room. What's up, Shane?
What up? What
Oh,
up?
look at him on camera
Happy
today.
2023, y'all. You know what I mean? We had a great year. And yeah, man. Happy 2024 also. You know what I mean? We getting there. So yeah.
Yes, amen. Yes. So as you guys can tell, all
You said amen.
Marcus, calm down.
Hey, praise Jesus. You know what I mean?
You did have a halo light behind you.
He did. He did look very like ethereal, like he was in heaven or something. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, we love the energy. We love that he's here in the building. So anyway, guys, so we're all very grateful to be here, as you guys can tell, because this has been a full year of Bar Exam, and that means that this is the 50th episode of Bar Exam, and we're just really happy that you guys are here on the journey with us. Proud of all of us. Like, let's give it up to us for real. For real. So yeah, it's been quite the year. When we first started off, like we were figuring it out. We were trying to get our chemistry together, and then it just after a while it just clicked. And so I'm so glad that we stuck with it, and I'm so glad that the fans stuck with us, and hopefully more of you guys are just now finding out who we are. You know, if you're new to the program, welcome. If you've already been here, we love you. We're grateful. And yeah, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen for 2024. But first, we have to talk about what the fuck happened in 2023. A lot of shit.
Wait. Let me pause you before we do that.
Go ahead.
Cheers to my fam.
Yeah.
Oh,
cheers. Shit. Big cheers. Hey, cheers, guys. You're right, Eric. You're right. We had to do it right. We had to set the tone. But all right, guys. So let's discuss this year's breakout artists or just groups that you saw that also were having quite the run this year. I feel like there was a few artists that we were all surprised about. Like, I think it's probably safe to say that Sexyy Red was an unexpected but welcome surprise to 2023. How did you guys feel about Big Sexy?
So I ain't gonna say welcome. I'm not gonna put that on. So when Sexyy Red started, it was a lot of St. Louis hate behind it because, you know, she wasn't what we represent and her music isn't this, and it's, you know, it's ratchet, it's holding our people back.
Does that not represent St. Louis in terms of like just like the culture in some parts of the culture, right? Like,
yeah, in some parts of the culture, but then this is literally, and I felt that way too. I'm not even gonna lie. Initially.
Marcus, I'm gonna go as far as to say that not only was the St. Louis hate real, but I think when she first came out, the hate was real all across the board.
Yeah, they felt.
I don't think anybody thought that she would be a household name or anything to where she is right now.
Yeah, and this is when it transitioned, when like she kind of got her what did they say? Like, got herself out of the situation where she was, and it literally spread like wildfire. Like nothing, no artist has, I don't think, been so far so fast. I won't say because she's not winning a Grammy, you know, or nothing like that. But I don't think an artist went from her situation quicker to that household standard name where shit, she won Halloween. She had bitches was dressing as Sexy Red as Halloween.
Yeah.
So and there's, you know, it's a Halloween costume that Sexy. I mean, you know, I'm president of the fan club. That didn't even happen with Glorilla.
That's true.
It did not, you know, and
also has a different type of look. Like she literally is kind of like larger than life, whereas like Glow is still gonna wear like cute, you know, have her hair cute,
right?
Like,
yeah,
outfit, a fit that's like, you know, trendy. Whereas Sexy is like, what is it? Coochie cutters,
yeah,
a bra, and this big red ass, you know, red wig. And, you know, so she's a little bit of a character. So I think that it helps. And I think that people thought it was going to hurt her, and it didn't. So.
And then she got pregnant at the end of her tour run. And then they got booked
and still
again.
toured.
And toured, like, yeah.
Touring. And got the Rich Baby Daddy song with Drake. Like, if that's not winning,
yeah.
you know what it is. Like, she definitely took some lemons and made money.
Hey, like,
and
this
don't
is gonna
forget
sound so crazy.
In Compton recently with YG. She shot the video with YG in Compton recently, so she got the official stamp from Cali too. You know what I mean?
Hey, this is gonna sound crazy, and I know it's not true. But what if Drake is her baby daddy?
That'd be amazing. I'd be so happy. I can't lie, because everybody would be like even more so hate her. She would live for it. She would make another fucking album off of it. So
I think she could. If Drake is her baby, if Drake is her baby daddy, she could be the next Cardi B.
That would be wild. That would be wild.
Actually, I'm gonna say I might even put any industry nigga as her baby daddy.
Really?
I don't think there. Yeah, I don't think there's any industry dude that like she could be attached to that be like, oh damn, nah, she fall off. No, like, you know, it's not.
That's true. And I wonder what's gonna happen with her actual baby daddies. Like, one's gonna get out of jail, one is out here already. You know, he might be the dude that was on house arrest. Like, I don't know what's going on with that story, with that love triangle. But it'll be very interesting to see if they decide to start like popping out more. Do you guys remember when they were like stealing her phone and all types of stuff? At least she's not somebody who, like, even though that was embarrassing, she's not somebody who, or a type of artist that's going to be like, I know that I talk a lot of shit and I'm ratchet, but I'm not going to like bring you guys into my life. Like, instead, she then made a song, Fuck My Baby Dad. And I thought it was hilarious. And I felt like it was probably about that dude, you know? So
that song is outrageous, by the way.
It is.
That song is that is the most obnoxious song. But it's one of the reasons why she is as
so
popular as she is, because a lot of the music is just plain obnoxiousness.
Yes, it is. I love it. I love the ratchet shit, and I love that she allows other women who are from that, you know, like who are rap, or people who like, I have friends who are like that, you know, like I love that we can listen to that song together and feel, you know, a little bit more connected, a little bit more loose. Like, you don't feel like you have to be so uptight. Like, I love that she even says that, like, she doesn't like a classy bitch, like they're boring or whatever. I think she puts it in one of her songs. I love that shit, because it's like, yeah, if we go to brunch and this song comes on, do not be Miss Marv in the corner like, I can't believe y'all really, like, girl, go home, because you ain't enjoying the mimosas, you ain't enjoying the vibe, like, So I love that she brings that type of energy to any place that her music is playing.
So, if you're from a certain area, if you're from a certain area, everybody knows the Sexy Red. There's at least one in your life. There's at least one.
So I got a question. We always remember the SoundCloud as the mumble rap era, right?
Mm.
Is Sexy Red the ratchet rap era, or does that still go to Megan and Cardi with WAP?
No,
They started it.
no. I would give it to Sexy Red. I would give it to Sexy Red.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like she's now.
Meg and Cardi are Tupac for me now.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
But
Sarah
no,
Lewis-
Both of them.
no,
And
no,
both
no,
of them
not
collectively,
no.
not
You
just
missed.
one of them.
No,
Both of
I'm
them
not
collectively.
saying. No, I'm not saying as an artist. I'm saying as like a subgenre. So like we have mumble rappers. So is ratchet? Is females rapping ratchet a subgenre like ratchet rap? Is it a?
I would put Glorilla in that category. To a certain extent, I would put Lotto in that category. I definitely Sexy Red.
Yeah.
There's another one that I'm thinking of that like just came out, but like there's
gotta
there's
put
that
Suki in.
subcategory that you can.
Suki. Thank you.
Yeah,
Suki.
for sure. There's definitely a subcategory where you can kind of split the difference. Like Cardi and Meg, yes, are they talking about the same stuff? Yes, but does it sound the same? No.
Mm-mm. Not always, anyway.
I will say that with Cardi, she toes the line a little bit more because of the certain types of other shit that she hops on, like Tomorrow 2, like the like a couple of other remixes that she's done throughout the year, which she's, by the way, taken off on a few of those verses. So
yeah,
she toes the line a little bit more. So you can kind of throw her in there too. Meg, she's kind of we kind of know where she's going now.
I think she's now trying to differentiate herself, and she's trying to be more serious. I think that's what Cobra was. Is like, I'm not exactly the hot girl hottie. Now that the Tory Lanez thing is done, and she wants to be more herself, it seems like. So, and just be it like in a different chapter of her life, which is totally fair. So she might it seems like she's closing up the whole like hotties run, and she's doing something a little bit more like strategic with Cobra, where it's like, I'm going to talk about how I really feel. The only thing about it that I worry about with her is that she has always had that theme of like, I'm pissed off. People don't fuck with me. I don't fuck with y'all. I'm a little bit depressed. So I just hope that she remembers, like, we really fell in love with you when you were like happy and you were free. And that's really why I think that people resonate or like they like ratchet rap, is because you can be free spirited. You can be obnoxious and not worry about, is this the proper way of being or acting or whatever, especially because everyone else is doing the same shit around you. So I just hope that Megan remembers that, especially because all this shit has been going down. I don't know if we're ready to talk about it just yet in this episode, but I do at some point want to get somebody, you guys, I want to pick your guys' brain on the whole Party and Megan drama that's been happening right now. But we do finish up the rest of our breakout artists.
We do, but I just want to say one thing about just the ratchet comment, because all I think that is also is just people like to live vicariously through celebrities. You know what I mean? So I think we've always seen it on the male side through gangster rap. How many wannabe gangsters, you know what I'm saying, or people who are just squares in their regular life, but they feel a little different when they play some Tupac or they play some, you know what I'm saying, like some DMX or some 50 Cent or whoever it is. You know what I mean? It puts a little chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? Because people just like to live vicariously through. That's why we watch violent movies. And, you know what I'm saying? It's all this sensationalized shit that you don't typically see on your everyday life. You know what I mean? Unless you're like really a certain type of person. So I think all this is just the female side of that, publicly. A lot of women can't behave like Sexy Red or Cardi B or, whoever else. So they like to watch it. It's almost like Real Housewives type shit. It's like people don't act like that in their real life, so they like to watch the craziness on TV. It's kind of the same thing, I feel like.
I think you're so right. You like summarize that up so perfectly and so eloquently. I think you're 1,000% right. Like, there's so many people. I mean, I feel like all of us have had that moment. You're riding to your regular ass job, right? You're driving, you're to your 9 to 5,
But you listening to
gangster
Jeezy,
shit, and
you
you're
feel like
like,
you're on the way to the trap, like nigga.
yeah, but you're not.
You're not. You're on your way to your job.
So
Nigga,
you're
on the way to on the way to work, on the way to high school. Sometimes back in the day.
exactly.
You listening to hard, mad gangster shit. You about to go to first period. The fuck?
Hey,
I got a homeroom. Like if a nigga look at me wrong, nigga.
Yo.
I'm gonna tell you the worst thing you can ever do is play the crunk era and be in traffic.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
Yo,
Oh, bitch,
Terrible.
get out the way.
Oh,
God,
man.
no, God damn it, motherfucker, put your hood up. Put your hood up. Like you are not going anywhere, and you are ready to just like Hellcat SRT, like you are
Dog.
That shit will. Oh, you
Oh,
will.
man.
That just fucked me up.
You
No,
safe out
I could picture
you're
that
right.
shit.
You right as hell. That's the funny part about it. Like you're not lying. Like
Yeah.
I remember being in traffic listening to Lil Jon like an idiot. Like why did I do that?
Man, for real.
Nigga, why would I play Lil Scrappy in the middle of traffic? That sounds like a horrible idea.
Oh, man.
You don't want no problems.
And men
Oh, man.
and was
don't
looking
cry
for a
about
problem. Like
That
I
is
wish I
literally
did.
the song I was thinking of.
And hey, and don't let nobody so like while you getting it with the radio in your car, don't look to your left or right and see somebody like this looking at you. So now you rapping at them. You don't want no problems. Bitch.
Right? You don't. You look straight ahead.
It's not good.
All
Yeah.
time
It's not
ago,
good.
babes.
That's
Funny.
what I can tell you.
That's why the crunk era can't come back.
It can't.
Nah,
It cannot.
nah.
I hope it does.
Not
No,
not in this era. Not in
Just
this era.
because,
I
like,
mean, it
that's
was
what people was
fun.
like, breaking and popping, and like even in crunk, you know, they did their little crunk. Or what was it? Step Up. Wasn't that the whole movie series was off of crunk? You know what I mean? So like,
So
niggas was really dancing when crunk music was out.
so crumping and crunk music are two different things. Because
but
when
you crunk to crunk music.
no, so
No.
if I'm first of all, that's a West Coast thing. You
Okay.
get in my face doing all of this stupid shit and right here, I will beat your ass. I'm not.
Talk about.
And then you
Nah.
you crunk. Yeah, I don't care what song is on. I don't care what you doing. You get all up in my face and you talking about all you like. This is so ignorant. They did that stupid shit at a protest to the police. It was like one of them Black Lives Matter protests, and the fucking cop and stand there in this riot gear, and they come up to him and they just doing they shit all up in the fucking cop's face, and they really thought they was doing something. And every time I see somebody doing crumping,
Yeah.
I always feel like the white people like you can't have nice things. like what? What? Nah, man. Then you gonna have the nerve to talk about, oh, it's just a dent. Nah, man, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Bring it back. Bring that shit back. Bring all of that shit back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway,
I'm gonna Nipsey hustle you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open.
too soon. Oh, okay. I'm like, too soon. Don't play about it. Okay, anyway. So we gotta get back. We went way left. Okay. Breakout artists. Okay, so we just said Sexy Red had her moment. Is there anybody else that you guys feel like this year just took over or has had a really big moment?
I got one. I'll go next just because. So this is a guy I've been listening to actually for some years. You know what I mean? He's had a lot of projects over the past, probably 5-6 years, maybe. And it seems like this year he really had a breakout year in the sense that a lot of people became aware of him, and that is Larry June. We've definitely mentioned him on the last 2 episodes of the show, where he's had some of my top 10 favorite songs of the year, as well as being in my top 10 favorite albums of the year. And yeah, I just feel like a lot of people who weren't previously aware of him became aware of him this year. So I mean, that's kind of the definition of a breakout year. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it just took him. It took a lot of consistency and him just keeping pushing to make it happen. But I feel like this year he made that shit happen. So shout out Larry June.
Yeah, shout out Larry June. Good job.
Larry.
Good job, Larry.
For real, I was just thinking about him the other day. I think one of the songs that Eric had recommended on the last episode, I went back to listen to it. I think it's the same song that Eric was talking about. Really good song. I forgot who the hell it's featuring or whatever, but a part in it at the end is like, good job, Larry, or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, like that is going to be a big deal in 2024. And good thing. Like, honestly, I think Larry June is one of those people that we felt was a little bit underrated, like underappreciated, because he talks about stuff that's not the norm of what many rappers want to talk about. They want to talk about sex, drugs, money, and he's talking about, okay, so he's talking about sex, but he's also talking and money, but he's also talking about, positivity, doing other things. Like, he's not talking about, I'm in the trap, and I'm about to pull up on your bitch. Like, he's more of like, I'm peace, your boo, we smoking, like, we cool, like, he's chilling, he's vibing. And so I think there needs to be a little bit more of that in 2024. We're all a little bit too mad, we're all a little bit too hype in 2023. 2024, I'm hoping, is the year of zen, of chilling the fuck out, hitting some Mary Jane like Eric, and listen to some Larry June, for real. How do you guys feel? What do y'all think that is likely to happen, or what? You think it's still going to be crazy in 2024, even with Larry June out?
Well, I'm a Larry June fan just via this show. So,
okay.
When for Larry June to come to be unknown, like I've become, and I'm on the discovery of Larry June, and for me, it's like I can see why they put him like Larry. This is a notable mention. This is cool. It's not like what the fuck, it's not that type of artist. So Larry June is growing on me. I fuck with Larry June. And it's because of this show that I even know who Larry June is.
Okay, I can't lie. That makes me feel really good.
Fire.
I found him randomly, but then I really got into him because of Eric. And so, yeah, like, I hope that the viewers at home have the same vibe, because I feel like you've taught me so many of, like, Detroit artists, St. Louis artists. Like, you really put, Glorilla on your back before people really knew what the fuck was going on, So I hope that the viewers have the same feeling, because I think that as hosts, we do a lot of teaching, but we also have done so much learning in this year as well. So I agree. I totally agree. And I know Eric does, because Eric loves Larry June too. He's the main reason we give a fuck.
I don't know what else I could say that you guys haven't already said. I mean, I guess the only thing that I could say is that I found him very, very early on. And it was one of those things where it was like, okay, I connect with this guy. Like, I understand why I like him. But then the evolution just kept growing. And then I remember when I first introduced Shane to him, because I was playing one of my favorite songs that he put out at the time, and it was a song that he did with Cardo. And Shane was like, yo, run that shit back. Like, that shit is hard. Like, play that shit. Who is this? And I told him who it was. And I was like, this is this dude, Larry June. He's from the Bay. Like, I've been listening to him. And it's funny because at the time he was amongst kind of that SoundCloud era, like the young nigga SoundCloud era. So like he was rapping on like a lot of like trap beats and shit like that. But he was just kind of doing that to get a sound out. But like his true sound, like the sound that we fuck with him for now, was the shit that I was playing for Shane at the time. And I wish I could remember the name of the song right now. I'll plug it in later or whatever. But yeah, that was just one of those ones that it was like, yeah, this guy's gonna be special. And I mean, after that Alchemist album, I feel like that was the one that really solidified him.
Yeah. And I think that not enough people give artists a second chance, and they don't allow them to grow. Like, if maybe a lot of us, if me and Marcus had heard, Larry June, like the very first, his trap shit or whatever, I probably wouldn't like him the way that I do now. But I'm glad that, I found him later on and his sound now, what it is, I really fuck with. But there's other artists too that I will say that, like, I'm glad that I decided to go back and listen to their album again or just give them another try on the next song, because they do listen and learn a lot of times. Like, yes, we can come up here and be critics or whatever, but I feel like the main reason that you're being a critic or you're being harsh sometimes is because it's like, I do want you to do better. Like, and I can see that you can do better, So like sometimes
you can say shit if you don't give a fuck, because you don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
You don't care.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're only gonna comment if you actually care about it.
Exactly. And so I think that more people should like sometimes give artists like that second chance. Maybe, a few months later, maybe even the next song, who knows, maybe a few years later, who knows, but like it is worth it sometimes, especially with people like Larry June and shit. So that's just one thing that I'm definitely taking with me in the 2024. It's like, give certain songs and certain artists a second chance. Maybe I'll like it, because sometimes it grows on you.
And I gotta add this, slide this in real quick. This wasn't even on the list, and I just thought about it. I gotta also put Scarlett on the list too, like as a breakout artist. Like, she kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then he kind of blew up. And then she, like, Busta came in and she got in a good situation. So yeah, I gotta also add Scarlett to that too.
I totally agree. I think I'm actually looking forward to see what else she does in 2024. I feel like you said, she had a really big moment. And unfortunately, I just feel like people will have runs, but because we're not in the area or something, or it's not mainstream enough, we won't hear about it enough. So I know she's around. I know she's cooking, because she's got people like Busta in the studio, and a lot of other people were interested in working with her. So yeah, I think that she's going to have a really good 2024.
Yeah, I haven't seen someone have the full weight of New York behind them since Young M.A.
Right. And then
everybody, and I'm talking about every New York, like,
And then she got stamped by West Coast too, because then she did a remake of that song with Snoop Dogg, and it was like, this is Cali, and shit like that, and it's actually pretty good. I thought it was gonna be trash, but I listened to it and I was like, all right, okay, I see why y'all decided to go ahead and do it. Like, it actually sounds good. So you're right. Like, she's pretty stamped for someone who's brand new.
Since we're actually doing honorable mentions and you just brought him up, I want to bring up Snoop, because he's actually dropped some really good music in the last few years. And, shout out to, Eminem. They had a little conflict for a little bit or whatever, but they ended up dropping a song together this year. And Snoop was rapping his ass off on that bitch. So I'm like, in a weird way, a lot of these artists are getting better the older they get. Like Snoop, I feel like is putting more time almost into the rapping aspect of rap again. Like he's rapping. I don't want to say like Doggy Style level necessarily, because that album is so classic and people just be like, that's blasphemy. But like, I don't know. Like, to me, a lot of his recent stuff has been very good. So, shout out to Snoop.
Shout out to him linking with Battle Cat, because his producer Battle Cat, that's been a major plus for him.
And he's done a lot of stuff with Hit Boy also.
Hit Boy, Thundercat too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, watch what I tell you right now. 2024 is gonna be the resurgence of old niggas in the game. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot more of, oh damn, they did that. We did it once with Paul Wall this year. We kind of had that moment. You just said it with Snoop. It's gonna be a lot of those, like 50's on a tour run right now that's unprecedented. That's gonna end next year.
We did it before. Remember when Raekwon came back out of nowhere?
Yeah,
and went on a run. It was like, where the fuck you been? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga Raekwon was doing nothing for years, and then all of a sudden he drops Only Built for Cuban Links 2 with Dre production on it and shit. And it's like, what, nigga? Like, where did this come from? Like, and then he went on a run after that. Like, he was dropping tapes and he dropped a couple projects. So we've seen that before. You
And
know
I'm gonna tell you,
old nigga just come back out of nowhere and go on a crazy run, and you like, oh shit, like
it's I think it's gonna begin with Wayne and BG too.
Marcus, you completely just read my mind. You stole my next topic.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad that you did. It was just so organic. I'm so glad that sometimes it's like creepy how it feels like you guys will like finish my thought or my sentence, or you know what I mean, or go into the next. And I'm like, how the
that's
fuck?
what happens after 50 episodes, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Cheers.
Oh yeah, 50 episodes. 50 episodes.
Seriously.
50 on them boys.
For real. But yes, Marcus, you're totally right. I was gonna say I felt like Wayne came back this year. Like all of a sudden he came back, and I think it was very much like a welcome back, you know, especially because he did that album with 2 Chainz. So I feel like 2 Chainz is also saying like, bitch, I'm back to, not that he really went anywhere, but I feel like he's gonna put some more like fuel on the gas. You feel me? Like he's really gonna put something out. And then who else? There was somebody else that I feel like also is having a moment right now who's, you know, a little bit more back in the day, but I'm just glad that Wayne is back. I'm excited to see what happens next year. And I think that hopefully, like, if more big artists do it, then we'll see even more of them come out of the woodwork, you know? And like, kind of like Son, the little, you know, the little kids who is out right now, the artists who think they're having a moment. Like, it would just be nice to have that type of competition and like have not exactly like real rap, you know, because like these rappers are real, you know. It's just that they don't all talk about the same shit anymore, and so it'll be interesting to see like what old school has to bring to the new school and the collabs that'll come from it.
Plus, I just like hearing old niggas' perspectives who have been around since youngins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love hearing Jay-Z rap now because, one, I can kind of relate a little bit more to his growth in the sense of, you know, being in my mid-30s, I remember what it was like being in my early 20s. So when I see early 20-year-olds today, rather than getting frustrated and being like, you stupid fuck, why are you acting like that? I'm like, I was 20 before, so I understand. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you'll get to, you know, mentally where I'm at one day and financially in a great spot and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Hopefully you get there. You know what I mean? You know, and certain people you can take under your wing and kind of guide them to make sure that they don't make mistakes that you made and shit like that. You know what I mean? But you can't do that with everybody, you know. So,
because when I was 20,
I really like when I hear Nas and Jay-Z and 50 even, because he was 27 when he came out. You know what I mean? Jay-Z was like 28 when he came out. Nas was like 19 when Illmatic came out. So, you know, Snoop was like 19 when Doggy Style came out. You know what I mean? Like, so I love hearing their perspective on shit nowadays because they've seen they were the young niggas before that were getting hated on by the niggas from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? LL, well, not necessarily LL, but there's a lot of them niggas in the 80s I was mad at the new crop of niggas in the 90s, you know. So, you know,
these young niggas dumb.
And a lot of the older guys like don't do that to the younger dudes necessarily. Like I see ASAP, which ASAP nigga was it on Nas's album? It wasn't Rocky. It was well, Rocky was on one too, actually.
Ferg? Wasn't it Ferg?
Yeah, I was gonna say the other one, like the other one that's popping. Yeah, Ferg.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh no,
yeah.
Boy Q. I don't know why.
Yeah, he was on one of the Nas albums, you know what I mean? So it's dope to see that. You know, Snoop has historically always fucked with everybody on the West Coast. So if you knew Snoop's fucking with you, you know what I mean? So you see him with YG and Nipsey and, you know, of course, RIP. But, you know, all of the newer crop of guys, you know what I mean? Whenever anybody's popping on the West, Snoop is right there to give him some game, you know what I mean? Even if he just brings them on his YouTube show and just chops it up with them or whatever, like he gives them some kind of stamp, like every time.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that actually reminds me. So, did you guys see that whole Kai Cenat with Nicki Minaj streaming together? So I know that Nicki Minaj just dropped her new album. Her new album, Pink Friday 2. And so I guess she wanted to like have a rollout, you know. I guess one of the first stops that she went to is Kai Cenat's house.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we posted that actually on our Instagram story, which you can follow right there on the bottom ticker at the Bar Exam Pod and at Ethos Media Network. yeah. So yeah, follow those pages. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm pretty sure I posted that on our story today, actually, because that I definitely saw that.
How did you feel? Like, I know I was
It
shocked.
makes
How
sense.
did y'all feel?
100% makes sense. I
It
mean,
makes sense. He's like the most popular streamer, I want to say, ain't he? It's like on
Yeah.
Twitch or whatever. He's like number one, or he's really high up there. So since that's kind of the internet is the media now. Like if you're gonna reach young people, you're not gonna get them on TV. You're gonna get them on YouTube. You're gonna get them on Twitch. You're gonna,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
and then it makes
Sure,
sense
if
because it
you're still a
cross-breaks
relatively young
the-
rapper, because she's,
So then-
she's in what, her mid 30s, you know what I mean? So she's still trying to get like teenagers to listen to her shit. She's not
Right.
trying to get 40-year-olds. So
Marcus,
Yeah.
did you see it? Did you
Because
see that?
y'all all just prove my point. Like, I
What?
want Nicki to do something that's not strategic, that's not in line, that's not a marketing. I want Nicki to win, but Nicki needs good music to win. You
You
don't
don't
need
think the
to do.
album is good? Did you
I
listen?
don't. It's not that it. So let me rephrase. It's not that it's good. It's not that it's bad. It's just mid. For it's just not like. I want monster Nicki, like the
Mhm.
oh my god Nicki to come back. Like, did you hear what she said? Like that Nicki, not like Nicki just having bars or Nicki.
okay, can I ask a question? I'm gonna derail us for a second, but you know, I do that. Does Nicki have another monster verse?
I don't think so.
I mean,
But
that's
I don't want to say. I don't want to
Here's the
say
reason
that.
I asked that, because I acknowledge that she had the best verse on a song with Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Kanye on it, which is a major accomplishment that not too many rappers can say they have, let alone female rappers. So I give her all the props in the world for that. However, if there's not another one anywhere in your extensive catalog of mixtapes and albums, why do we give her this credit of being this super dope lyricist when we've only really seen it one time?
well, can we also be fair in that that wasn't her song? So that's the thing. She was a feature on that song. So that's why I think that people are looking for her to do the same thing. And it's like, that was not her shit to begin with. She was an added feature. So I think for her, she's like, I'm still going to do what the fuck I do, what I got hot off of, which is being a queen's fucking queen, you know, like Barbie bitch. And I think that she's been very successful with that for a long time. I think that's what I really get from this album is like, I'm going to come back, I'm going to do this poppy shit, and I'm going to put some bars on it. And to me, that's Nicki Minaj.
No, I totally agree with that. I'm wondering why collectively everyone gives her credit of being a dope lyricist.
I think
If that's
deserves
kind of more her
personal-
lane. Like you just described what I think of Nicki Minaj as well. She's a pop artist who can deliver dope bars. She's a
Yeah.
better Doja Cat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes,
Damn.
she's a
1,000%.
better Doja
She
Cat.
is.
Like,
Damn.
or
not a
Doja Cat's a
disco bar.
worse Nicki, however you want to
That's
frame
not a
it.
dick
But
because Doja has admitted before. She even has a song where at the end of it, she's like, "Thank you, Nicki. I love you." Like Doja wants to be a baby version of Nicki. Let's
so
be
yeah,
fair.
let me be appropriate with it because Nicki was definitely first. So let me,
Yeah, like
that way.
Doja's the only
Doja
person
is
who will
not
admit
good
it.
Nicki. That's my opinion, so yeah, I'll say it that way. But like we don't look at Doja as a lyricist. We look at her as a pop
But
artist.
why not? My thing is like she has better bars than most of these fucking drill whatever rappers or like these trap street rappers. Like I feel like a lot of times if you break down what she's actually saying, like print out her lyrics, go check it out and compare it to these other niggas that are just like, hey babe, you fine, hey babe, you sexy. It's like no wonder she came out and was like doing shit that
Hold up, Callie. Hold up. Bring it back. What the rappers be saying?
you know that fucking song. Don't act brand new.
What they be saying? What the niggas be saying?
They know you fine. Yeah, you know you fine. Shout out to whose song is that? It's I forgot who the fuck it is. It's called Bay. It is by
Oh man.
He's exactly who the fuck I'm thinking of. It's called Bay. You've heard of it before, but compare him. You know what I mean? Like other dudes in the street would be like, maybe he's not a lyricist. Don't get me wrong, he's not a lyricist. But my thing is like, she raps better than him, but we don't consider her a rapper, you know? So that's why I'm like, I truly actually, if you look at what they talk about, not every song they're talking about some deep shit. I will absolutely give them that because they don't really care. But sometimes you will find it and you'll be like, oh, okay, let me shut the fuck up, because when they want to say something, they be spitting. Okay. That's just my opinion of it. That's how I see it. But also talking about somebody who's been spitting this year. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Is it Jid or is it J-I-D? I do not know.
I think it's J-I-D.
Okay. I also heard someone say Jid. I don't know, but J-I-D.
Jid. His name better not be Jid.
I don't. Well,
this shit better be J-I-D.
I'm like 90% sure it's J-I-D.
The only reason I say that is because Joe Budden, they were going to call him up and they were like, oh, let's ask Jid how he feels about the baddies twerking to his song. And I was like, first of all, didn't know his name was pronounced that way. I don't know if that's correct because I was thinking like, is that his man's? That's why Joe can call him that? I don't know. But
I feel like that's just Joe being Joe. Maybe.
But also, I thought it was interesting that he felt like he had to call him up to ask this question. Would any of you guys be upset that chicks are twerking or doing thirst traps to a boom bap rap that you decided to put out? Are you upset?
No, not at all. Not in the slightest bit. Because here's the thing. I don't even like. I've been a fan of J.I.D. for a minute, so like I always knew that like he had this like level of talent. It was just going to take the right type of thing to bring it out. So this in particular, I don't even know how the baddies even found it. Like I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you how the baddies even found it. But I mean, it's everywhere. Every single time I go on Instagram now, every single time, if that video with that song is popping up, with the surround sound, like you know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know how they found it.
It's like it's immediate.
Yes, they found it because of the ceiling challenge. Someone probably did a cute, because when I first saw this trend going around, it was like cute, it was wholesome, it was like people with their friends, with their coworkers, with their family, like, you know, just doing different like cute little things and doing the ceiling challenge. And then there was a sect of it where it was like the baddies had to have their moment. The BBL babies had to have the shine. They had to throw that thing back. So that's why it went viral. But it started out
not the BBL babies.
First of all,
the BBL babies.
The ceiling challenge is the greatest challenge that was ever created that has hit and graced social media.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
Like the ceiling challenge is amazing. Like
the room, Marcus. Make sure anybody.
I'm already getting some pushback in the room, but that's I had to deal with that. But the ceiling challenge has made it, people who don't do challenges are doing the ceiling challenge.
Yep.
Girls who don't make content are making content for the ceiling challenge. The ceiling challenge is the greatest challenge that was ever created in social media history.
Yes. And I think it's also not just because the baddies are throwing it back and because it's making people want to make content, but I think I really love that it was like all of a sudden people wanted to get like groups of their family members or co-workers to do it, not to throw it back, but like just to do cool, like just to do something fun. I thought that shit was just so creative and cute. Like,
you know what? I'm in hindsight is always 2020. It might not be the greatest in social media history because I remember the one that went. No, the one that where like you would be like standing still and then you go crazy. Like that had like arenas and it had like a whole bunch of stuff. So it's top. I say it's top 5.
It's definitely up there for sure. I've had one like that since the mannequin challenge. So
yeah, the mannequin challenge was big too. You know, so it's definitely top 5.
Ice bucket challenge was huge.
Yo, yes. Do you guys remember the stupid one when in COVID where motherfuckers was jumping on top of those carts, those milk cartons?
That was dumb as shit. That was
that was
That shit was just funny. I'm sorry. This whole challenge thing just reminded me of that. I had to get that out there. But anywho, anyway, so we feel like those are. I feel like that's everybody, right? Like we've talked about all the breakout artists that we got on the list this year. Anybody have any more?
Yeah, so now Eric, you had one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So just wrap it up real quick with bringing it back home to Detroit. I feel like this year you could have given it to a lot of different people, but I feel like this year in particular, I want to give it to Babyface Ray because he dropped 2 albums this year, one at the very top and then one like right around the summertime. And I feel like he just kind of made this year like the year that he was going to stamp himself as like the next guy in Detroit. And I feel like with both those projects, he solidified that. I feel like he has been on enough features with other artists on other people's projects to get himself known as a notable name out there. And I feel like this year is just the beginning for him. I feel like next year, like he's gonna really lock in. He's tapped in with a lot of those same producers that we like Hit Boy, Alchemist, obviously all the Detroit producers like Hell of a Beats and people like that. So I feel like it's only a matter of time until he has that like next big ceiling moment. But like I like Babyface Ray because he kind of reminds me of Larry June in a sense, but like the Detroit version of that. So that's why I like him.
Okay, that definitely makes me interested now. I'm definitely going to go check him out. Shout out to Detroit. You guys are always repping. Like, if there's one thing y'all going to do on this show, you're going to rep your motherfucking hometown. And I love that.
Come on, man.
Because we need it, okay? It's
Come on now.
We got St. Louis in the building. We got Cleveland over here in the building, / a little bit of Cali. But you know, like, I love that we say repping. So shout out. Nice pick, Eric. Now moving along, we unfortunately have to talk about some more serious stuff now that we've got all the goofy shit out the way. So we have to do an honorable mention for the people that we lost this year. And that was actually a few different people. For me, like off the top of the dome, Gangsta Boo, like that was not expected. I think it was, especially because it was like, you know, this year was the 50th anniversary for hip hop, and I'm sure a lot of people wanted to see her at the award show. So it's really sad to, you know, have heard that news. And I still don't really know what she passed from, to be totally honest. Like it just well, okay. And normally when people are a little bit more secretive or like they don't come out and just say it, I kind of worry that it's that. So unfortunately, I guess it was that. That's sad. That really sucks. I think that you know, hopefully more people take, you know, the I don't know how to say it, like the drug epidemic a little bit more serious. Like, you know, that shit is not anything to play with. So hopefully in 2024 we get it the fuck together. Is there anybody else for you guys that you wanted to mention for this section?
Yeah, I'll bring one up because I feel like Memphis has kind of been going through it for the past couple of years. Like we saw it with Young Dolph a couple of years ago, then now with Gangsta Boo, and then another person that I want to bring up is somebody that I actually discovered rather recently that I was sad to discover because he's pretty good. And I was sad to hear about what happened to him, but Big Scar, another rapper from Memphis. He was signed to Gucci's label. Another person that unfortunately passed because of overdose situations. And yeah, he was a guy that was young, and he was one of those guys from Memphis that like you could just tell like he was another person that was gonna blow. And it's just sad that like he passed because like he passed right before he was about to take off. Like a lot of his songs were starting to get big. He was on a lot of songs with like Pooh Shiesty. He was starting to, you know, put out stuff with Moneybagg Yo a little bit here and there. Like he was really on his way up. So yeah, that was a person that I was happy to discover this year, but also sad at the same time because I know that at this point, like I'm probably not really going to hear much else past maybe the last project that he just put out, that his team just put out a couple of weeks ago. So
it's so sad to hear people with so much talent pass away over drugs. Like, dude, that's like the last shit. You know, you feel kind of upset with them because in a way it's like you feel like they could control it, but that's not always the case. Like, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, a rabbit hole kind of, you know, you just dig yourself in there. But it just sucks. It really sucks that the world doesn't get to have their contribution anymore. What were you gonna say, Marcus?
For me, it was because I agree with the Gangsta Boo comment. I do agree with Big Scar, but for me, it was like when we say this next, when you say Timbaland, you can't say Timbaland without saying Magoo, and Magoo died in August, and you know that was like it was another iconic name that's like, damn, he died. You know, it was one of those, and you just couldn't believe it, and you know. The Missy Elliott, that was that Virginia sound, you know, and Magoo was definitely part of it. You know, you can't say enough about what they did as, you know, together, all of them. So, you know, I think when you lose like instrumental key pieces of greatness, like who are solidified, you know, how do you move on from that? You know, how do you can't discount what they did at that time, but you know, he's now no longer here. So for me in 2023, along with everyone else has said, I'm gonna add Magoo to the list.
That's a good one. Absolutely.
Magoo's on a few of my favorite songs actually. But like I like making fun of his verses, you know, and I still do. Like, you know, that's not gonna change. I like that they're silly verses. But you know, they're some of my favorite songs. So, you know, definitely R.I.P. Magoo. Another person who was very influential in the hip hop space who passed away was Dave from De La Soul. He was 54 years old. He died of looks like congestive heart failure. But De La Soul is one of those groups that was really important because they were around at a time when gangster rap was like the shit. You know what I'm saying? NWA had just put out maybe their second album, the one with Always Into Something on it. You know, Ice Cube was cooking at the time. You know, there was a lot of gangster rap that was popular at the time. Death Row was bubbling. You know, Biggie was getting ready to come out. You know, this was in those times. You know, Wu-Tang, Nas, all of that kind of stuff. You know, gritty street rap. And then you had De La Soul, who were the fun guys. They were, you know what I mean, the ones who kind of rapped about the positive stuff and wore bright colors and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. They brought the fun. They kept the fun around in rap, I would say. You know, so they were definitely a very influential, important group. You know, people like them and people like Tribe are sort of how you get people like Kanye. You know what I mean? Like the one guy who kind of stands out amongst everybody else, you know, for doing something completely different. You know, that's what De La Soul was doing back in the day. So, you know, R.I.P. Dave. I think his other name is True Joy the Dove. You know, that's another name that he went by. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one to mention. There's also I couldn't think of any other like artists for this section, but there were also a bunch of unfortunately like Black actors that passed, and then also some other like not rappers but other music or talent. So Tina Turner, Harry Belafonte passed away. Just most recently, I think this just happened. You know, like the day of this shoot or the day before or whatever. Andre, I hope I'm not messing up his last name. Andre Bogger. I don't know if that's how
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yes, I love that guy. I love his voice. I honestly, when I opened my Instagram and I saw that he passed away, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm done with Instagram for the day. I'm done with social media. Like, I'm pissed because he was just so young. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if, like, we decided we were not going back to the doctor after COVID, but we need to go get them checks. There was also another, I cannot find him, but there was also another Black actor who was, like, one of my favorite villains. Like, every time he shows up on the screen, I'm like, oh, he's about to, like, be the best bad guy ever. I I can't remember what his name is at the very moment, but hopefully, if I remember later, I'll tell Shane to add it to, like the comments or something like that. But, just be, I'm glad that we're talking about them, but also be mindful, guys. Like 2024, I don't want to lose no more talent, for real. Eric, what were you going to say?
As far as a guy who has bars in a sense, but in a different sense, and as far as a person whose death I still haven't truly sat down and processed yet. And for anybody who knows me and knows my brother, we're both wrestling fans. But that's Bray Wyatt on the who died this year of heart complications because of COVID. And yeah, I still truthfully haven't really processed that because he was one of my favorite characters of the modern era.
Yeah.
And it was very shocking to hear what happened to him. And yeah, that's just one of those things that, like, one day I'll go back and really watch all his stuff again and like truly appreciate everything that he did. But I just haven't done that yet. But yeah, that's one that like I just like still am like, wow, like I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah, but at least like thankfully these people have left the world with their works, their art, their, whatever it is that they were doing. And so in a way, like I understand when people say like they want a legacy. And I feel like when you do things like make music or you're just on TV and they record it for, like and with the internet, I just feel like you live on forever. So it is, I'm sure it's hard, like for a lot of people to go back and watch or listen to the people that, really help them or defined a moment for them or, just help them get through some shit with their art. But the beautiful thing is like, they're not really gone because you can go back and enjoy what they left the world, so at least there is that, so, but yeah, so
toast to everyone that we lost in 2023. And we wish health and prosperity to everybody in 2024.
Amen. Yeah. Cheers to that, for real.
Now.
Okay. Now that we're done with serious shit.
Yeah. We got the sad. Yeah. Right, let's end this on a happy note.
Got it.
Who's up next? 2024.
Yes. Okay. So for this section, we just wanted to, throw out some artists that we feel is going to have an amazing 2024. Who we feel like you guys should be, on the lookout for. Last year, we also did this kind of similar around like New Year's or whatever. So I go back and watch that. See if that aged well. See if we were right then. But let's see what we say for this one. So does anybody want to start it off? Maybe Marcus, you got anybody that we should be looking out for?
So I got two. First one is another guy out of Memphis called Anthony the Singer. He had a song earlier this year called I'm Cool on That Fuck Shit. Go play it. I know there's somebody in your contact list you want to make that their ringtone. I guarantee like that was the anthem for him this year. I think he's gonna be something like it's gonna be well received by the entire community when he finally drops. And the second one is not a new artist, but it's an artist that I believe is making the turn to right the wrongs in his careers, in his career, and that's Boosie. I think Boosie in 2024 is going to be I think Boosie will be a household name. I mean, he already is, but I think you're going to be seeing more of him being more mainstream. So I think in 2024, he's gonna come out and show you the old Boosie, not in the bad way, but being the household name way.
Really quick, do you think that's because he is working on a case right now? Like, I literally remember when he got that indictment from like the feds or whatever, and my sister had said something like, "Oh, he's gonna sue somebody for using their lyrics or whatever," and I was like, "Baby, he's fighting the U.S. government. He's about to sue any and everybody's mama, cousin, sister. Like, he's coming for his money." So do you think that's what's going to make him like be a little bit more hungry in 24?
I believe so. Yeah, I think his case, and I think when you just said the other case, and don't be surprised. I don't think Young Thug is gonna do a day in jail.
You don't? Oh, he is.
No,
is.
I mean, like, I'm talking about
after?
like I don't. I think he walks after this. I don't think he served. If I think he leaves the courtroom a free man, like time served or whatever they work out. You know,
the only way
but
that doesn't happen is if the feds decide to pick it up before the state drops it.
I don't. That would have already happened.
That's the only way that doesn't happen. If the feds pick it up because they feel like, okay, the state's fumbling it, but we got enough on them, we can go ahead and pursue it. Then I think they would pick it up before. But if the state throws it away before that happens, I don't think the feds will fuck with it. So, and then I think you're right.
I think, but I also think that case, if the feds were going to pick it up, they would have already. And I think the feds also know that the state's case is weak where they wouldn't pick it up. So I don't, that's why I think Thug is going to be home similar to Rollo.
I think you got a point, Marcus. We're definitely going to keep an eye out for that because it's already been a crazy ass case so far. So that was, thank you for your insight on that. Anybody else? Eric, do you got anybody you want to look out for?
Yeah. Speaking of people coming home, I want to say I'm pretty sure Rio de Young OG comes home in 2024. I'm pretty sure. Anybody can fact check that and tell me if it is early 2025 or something. But I'm like 80 to 90% sure it's 2024 because, yeah. Anyway, this is the year he comes home, and I think when he comes home, he's gonna have a crazy year because he's already, in my opinion, right now, one of the most popular street rappers just out, period, while still being locked up.
Really?
I think it's been that way for a couple of years now.
And he's from Detroit, right, Eric?
He's from Flint, to be exact.
Oh, Flint. Okay.
Yeah.
Down here.
But yeah.
It sounds like maybe
Detroit area, but Flint, to be exact.
Gotcha. Like maybe Michigan will have a moment. Who knows?
Yeah, because he's one of those guys that whenever you get into a car or like get into a car with a young dude, especially out here, they want to hear that shit. Okay. That's all they want to play. Wow. And I've seen it firsthand, so that's how I know.
Okay.
Like he's one of those guys. So I feel like the minute he comes out, he's got it. And then I think as far as current people, I've said it before a couple of times on the show, but I think 2024 is when Future is gonna come back and really make a big splash, and I think Metro Boomin is gonna have a lot to do with that. Not only do I think Metro Boomin is gonna have a lot to do with that, but I also think Metro Boomin is gonna have another crazy year.
I do too.
So, those are my picks.
Do you think that they're going to work with Drake this time around, or you think it's going to be like, no, we're going to leave Drake out of this one? Because I did see that Aubrey felt some way that Metro was not repping his last album the way that he felt he should have.
I don't know, and the only reason why I'm going to say that is because don't you guys think it's a little strange that Drake made a song called What Would Pluto Do and there's no Pluto on the song?
Yeah. What is that about?
Little strange. I don't want to say it's a diss or anything, but just a little weird.
A little.
It's just a little weird there.
Like
they haven't really worked together in a minute either. It's been a couple of years.
Fair, we've seen Drake do weird stuff like that before. Like, for example, when he spit basically rapping Forte's verse word for word on YG's single. You know what I'm saying? And Rapping Forte was mad at him for it. Rapping Forte is alive and he's from California.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's possible that YG didn't know who he was because it's not like he was a super popular rapper, but he had some songs in the 90s that were popular. You know what I mean? And that verse was word for word his verse. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to pay homage to the nigga like that have them in the video at least. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you can't have YG, who's from California, reach out to this legend who you're paying homage to, who's also from California, in the video. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we've seen him do stuff like this before, where he's paying homage to somebody with them having no knowledge of it and being like, nigga, what homage? So
Right.
I'll
Shout
kind
out
of
to
build
Metro
on
too.
what
He
we're
got the key
talking
to the
about
city
right now.
today.
oh, okay.
Shout out Metro.
Key to the city.
I'll kind of build on what we're talking about, and I have 2 hot takes for
Okay.
2024.
All right, let's hear them.
My first hot take is I hope that Drake actually takes time off. I'm cool with I'm cool on Drake music for a little while now. I think we've seen pretty much what we need to see, and until some like new type of evolution happens there, I'm cool with hearing anything new Drake related for a little while. I think
that's fair.
we pretty much at this point have heard everything that we need to hear from him at this current point in time. Whereas every single time you hear J. Cole, it's like a new discovery of finding out that J. Cole has like discovered this like new unlocked hidden gem of like this like new flow. It's like, how did you even figure this out? Like, and like, how are you continuing to get better like every time you're on track? Like, that's cool. Drake has kind of stagnated, and I'm okay with admitting that. And that's not to say that the music that Drake is doing is bad, because it's not bad. But it's just like I've heard it all before, so I don't need to hear anything else.
So you wouldn't be excited to try out a new accent in 2024 and just decide to take somebody else, like rep some other culture for the sake of it? Like, I feel like I have a feeling like him and Bad Bunny are just gearing something up. I swear to God, that's in my soul.
They probably are, but just I'm good, man. Well, I mean, you know what? If that's fine, because that won't be for my ears anyway. I won't hear that anyway, unless Bad Bunny kind of does permeate my ear every once in a while. So if I do hear that by accident, then by all means. But if we're just talking
like the Pat Williams joke, I don't drink no goddamn Alizé, but bitches do.
Right.
I don't listen to no goddamn Bad Bunny, but bitches do.
Yeah. So the bitches don't listen to Drake. So Eric might, and we be listening to Bad Bunny. So Eric's like, I might give a little bit of if it's playing. I feel
I was gonna say I can't even say that wouldn't permeate my ears. But if we're just talking strictly rap, I will say that he can take some time off. The second hot take that I have is kind of to build on something that Marcus said earlier. Not only do I think the older niggas are gonna have a great 2024, but I think we're kind of slowly but surely seeing it already kind of happening right now. But I think a lot of that young nigga shit in 2024, it's gonna be over with, kinda.
Why do you think?
And when I say young nigga shit, I mean like the mumble rap shit. Like, that is no longer gonna be even remotely acceptable.
So I got a question.
I'm talking like Lil Baby making the same song over and over again. That's no longer going to be acceptable.
Okay. You got to say to that, Marcus. What do you think?
Does it go for the females as well?
It goes for the females.
What? You feel like the females been mumble rapping? I feel like they've been.
No. That's not what I'm saying. No.
He's saying
for the females. It's really only comes down to one thing. Just don't make the same song over and over again, like Lil Baby.
But that's. I was gonna say, like, the guys have the same problem. I feel like it's just like all these rappers are like, okay, these themes.
It's not just Lil Baby. It's not just Lil Baby.
Over. No, it's not.
He's just the one person that I can point out in this instance. But no, there's plenty of other guys that I can think of in this instance.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I would even say to a certain extent, and I love him, but Lil Durk.
I was literally gonna say that, but I was like, let a fan say that.
I love him, but I'm sorry. he makes the same song a lot of the same time. But anyway, my bad. Go ahead, Shane.
It's a lot of niggas that slide on in Chicago. That's all I'm gonna say. A lot of sliding going on in Chicago. So
you got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
That's fair. True. That's very fair. Shane,
I was just gonna say, on the female point, I don't necessarily. I think Eric's more so saying that's the trap they have to avoid falling into, is making the same song over and over again. Not necessarily that's what they're doing right now, but that rule applies for them. Meaning, if at a certain point there's like a female pocket that they all rap in and they all kind of are doing the same shit, then eventually we're gonna start seeing them fall off, and there's only gonna be like one or two. So I think, Eric, am I right? Is that what you were saying?
That is exactly what I was saying, and I'll build on that by elaborating more with, for example, Meg Thee Stallion putting out Cobra. That was probably one of the best things that she could have done to release a comeback single. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because a lot of the talk was, what is she going to sound like post everything that she's been through? And that was one of the best moves that she could have made. Not only was the single good, not only does it derive a little bit differently from the type of music that she does make, but it resonated with people.
Yeah.
And that was the important thing there.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point, because I was going to say the one thing that I'm a little nervous about when it comes to female rap is that there kind of only seems to be one type of female rap, or like one genre that's acceptable. It comes in different sounds, but it's basically what niggas was calling like city girls rap up until recently, because they flopped and they're not really making noise now. So now it's just ratchet rap, I guess, or sexy red rap or whatever. But there's like a lot of that in the hip hop space. So it's like, where's the room for the Jean Greys and the Rhapsodies and, your people like that? It's like that, I feel like, is going to really solidify it, because the last like time where, female rap had numbers and it was strong like that, everything was covered. You know what I'm saying? You had Yo-Yo, who was like kind of like your West Coast conscious chick. You had MC Lyte, who was sort of on some street shit for a girl, you know what I mean? Then you had Queen Latifah, obviously. Then you had Moni Love, you know what I mean? Then you had Lil' Kim, then you had Foxy, and all of them brought something different to the table. They were all totally different artists. So I feel like it's good that women have the numbers right now, but now they have to start doing things to differentiate themselves from each other in order to have longevity. So I think hopefully we'll see, some different characters from a lot of these women, in 2024.
I totally agree. And I'm so glad that you said that, Shane, because my pick for somebody or artist that you guys should be looking out for in 24 has to go to two artists named Caribou, and the other one's named Anicia. So they're both female rappers. They both fuck with each other heavy. They have a couple songs together, but even individually, they are just so dope, so different when it comes to like the sound that's out now for female rappers. Kind of leading into what Shane was saying, like they definitely have that West Coast conscious vibe to it. Don't get me wrong, they'll talk about, pulling up and, shooting shit, but it's nothing that's like actively violent. It's on some like, they're threatening you, but they've been smoking all day. So it's like, like they're real vibey with it. They're really laid back. So for Caribou, she's more of a tomboy. She gives Wiz Khalifa vibes. She's like girl next door, like she's real chill. She's hanging out with the dudes. Anicia is giving more of Ruby Rose vibes, especially with like, not exactly the look. She definitely gives like pretty girl, but in the look, but her voice is just got so much character. I love when people have unique voices like hers. So you really want to listen to what she has to say. And she actually talks some real shit. She kind of reminds me of Currency. If you guys are a fan of his, you might like her. If you're a fan of Larry June, you might like both of them. Just because they're definitely West Coast, you know, but they have that really cool confidence about them that I really love listening to, especially coming from women. Another thing about Anicia, I also liked her because one of the songs that I found her, I can't remember what the hell the song is called. I'll double check it in a second. But the song that I found her off of, it reminded me of a song that if Sexy Red matures, like if she decides, okay, I'm going to talk ratchet, but I want to be like a little bit more chilled out, a little bit more relaxed with it, she would go this direction. The only thing is that she does not have Anicia's voice, and that is just going to be a huge difference. And Anicia comes with the bars. So if you like Sexy Red, but you're like, I can't be blasting her every day because people gonna look at me crazy, or you know, or like I just can't be that hype all the time. Pop in Anicia, she's gonna have you set, then put some Caribou on, and you're gonna have a really chill, nice ass vibe, nice ass drive. So those are definitely the two artists for me that you have to look out for, because they are what female rap needs right now, in my opinion.
You pointed out a couple of things that makes me want to check them out. You said they remind you of Wiz and Currency.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I love both those guys. So, I mean, that like, if they're girls that sound like that, then that automatically intrigues me. You said that if Sexy Red wanted to make a more mature sounding song, it would sound like this, but the girl's voice doesn't sound like that. So that makes me intrigued to hear what they sound like too. Yes. Not only how they rap, but what they sound like too. So yeah. I'm very intrigued to check both of them out collectively. Also, the fact that they're a duo, that also intrigues me. So yeah,
well,
definitely
check them out. Not a duo. They actually are their own separate artists, but they have a couple songs together. Like they fuck with each other that heavy that I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they do like a collaboration album like 2 Chainz and Wayne. You know, like they definitely have their own lanes. They have their own style, but it's just it's kind of like they're similar on the West Coast conscious shit, because you could listen to like a playlist with just their music and not have to be like, oh, this is just too jarring. This is like not the same vibe. You know?
You guys said it best. They're girl, Wiz, and Currency.
Yeah, they totally are. And that was like the only people that I could think of. But honestly, like it's like the perfect description. And once you guys hear them, you'll see like, oh no, she's not lying. Like this sounds like Ruby Rose and Sexy Red, but like Currency's brain. Like I think you're really going to be pleasantly surprised. And I hope that they have a terrific 24. I hope that they have the same type of success that Larry June is seeing now.
Definitely.
Well, I'm actually glad you said that too, because on the duo thing, with them not running as a duo, Wiz and Currency technically don't run as a duo either.
That's why
they have collab projects together.
Exactly.
But they don't run as a duo.
Exactly.
They're their own people. Yep. So if they're in the same lane, then yeah, of course. Yeah. Like again, very, very excited to hear them. So yeah. Just wanted to clear that up. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I was literally thinking of you, Eric. I was like, I swear to God, if Eric says these two people as his look out, I'm gonna be pissed. So I'm glad that I brought something new to the table for you guys. So yeah, and I think Shane, you're really gonna fuck with Anicia. I really think
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'm excited to check them out. I'm checking it out. So.
But yeah, in addition to everybody that you all mentioned, you know what I mean, I just want to say that I believe that not only will the bar exam, but Ethos Media Network as a whole will have a great 2024 going forward.
Yeah.
I appreciate rocking for the last 50 episodes. Like I said, I wanted to say thank you to all of you. It's time that you guys are taking out of your days, and all of that kind of stuff. We all work and we all have things going on. So 50 episodes, I definitely appreciate y'all. And
shout out to the viewers, the listeners.
Next episode, we're gonna see y'all next year, actually.
Yeah. Cheers.
Whether you love us or whether you
hate Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Ramadan, Happy December if you don't celebrate nothing. You know what I mean?
All of that. Happy holidays in general from the Bar Exam crew, from Ethos Media. Thank you guys for rocking out with us, especially on our long ass episodes. I hope that you guys enjoy. I like the longer ones. That's just my opinion. But I hope that you guys follow us into 2024 for some more amazing bar exam picks. And we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys. Bye.